Welcome back to Geico Sports Night. This past Sunday at Citi Field, the Mets honoring Army Captain Joe Quinn as the veteran of the game. For Joe and his family, the honor was just the latest chapter in a story of their ties to Queens. Here's Michelle Yu with more.
On a rainy and cloudy Saturday in June, the Mets were preparing to take on the Washington Nationals in a late afternoon game. At the same time, more than 180 people were gathering at McFadden's Citi Field before heading in to reconnect and remember.
Jimmy was the typical middle brother, and I was, I think, the typical younger brother that just kind of followed him wherever he went. He used to sneak into Shea Stadium all the time, and I was the one that was always fearful that we're going to be thrown in prison, and he was like, don't worry about it. And he was just kind of that guy that was sort of the center of the party and the life of the party, and always being places he shouldn't, you know.
Baseball has always played an integral part in the Quinn family. Growing up in Marine Park, the Quinn brothers, oldest brother Michael, Jimmy, and Joe, bonded over their love of the New York Mets.
I remember we were at the Division Series, and we all painted our faces in mustaches like Mike Piazza. And it was the game against the Giants where Benny hit a home run to win. And I remember Jimmy's a very emotional kid. I remember him hugging us and just tears streaming down his face. Jimmy almost knew what life was all about at a very young age. And he just had a passion for life. It was almost as if he knew his life was going to be short. You know, he lived every moment. There wasn't a night he didn't want to go to a Mets game or drag his friends or me to a Mets game. And just, again, it was less about him and going out. It was more about sharing a night out at the ballpark with his friends, and that's what I'll always remember about him.
James Francis Quinn worked in the North Tower at the World Trade Center on September 11th, 2001. He was just 23 years old.
He used to say he worked on top of the world, you know, and he was probably the gopher getting coffee for brokers and whatnot at Cantor Fitzgerald, but he was just so proud to be here, to work downtown, to work in the World Trade Center, and it's just his life was just getting started, and just like nearly 3,000 other people, they're just coming here to do their job.
Lopez wants it away.
And it's hit deep to left center. Edgar Jones on the run. This one has a chance. Home run! Mike Piazza, and the Mets lead 3-2.
For Piazza to hit that home run after 9/11, it was almost, I know every New Yorker Mets fan felt that, but it was almost a wink to my family that, you know, Jimmy's still out there somewhere.
Less than a year after 9/11, the Quinn family, along with Jimmy's friends from Manhattan College, created the Jimmy Quinn Mets game, now an annual event for 16 years.
It was very emotional being at Shea Stadium and having all the memories we had with him there, and you know, LaGuardia Airport being close by, you'd see planes fly by, and I think the whole stadium sort of felt that, and my family in particular. But it was sort of the first time we were able to kind of crack a smile and see Jimmy through his friends and his family, and knowing that we could be happy again, and to revisit that every year through that annual game is really special to us. My brother was one of, I think it's about 1,300 who they never found any remains of. So for my family and I, this is a special place with his name here, and his pictures down in the museum, and there's pictures and photos of him. So for me, it's, you know, the same way people would visit a gravesite. This is sort of where we go to pay our respects to my brother. So we always say that he's kind of laid the rest here, but his spirit lives in Citi Field, and that's why we do the Mets game every year, because that's really where we feel my brother is kind of around friends and family and Mets fans.
The Jimmy Quinn Mets game not only honors the memory of Jimmy Quinn, but also raises funds for veterans every year. Now, if you're interested in making a donation in memory of Jimmy in support of the Jimmy Quinn Mets game or to help our veterans, please go to teamrwb.org to donate.